Righty. We are live, everybody. I hope you guys had amazing weekend and we have just stepped into a new week. Monday is gonna be great. Now, at the moment, it is currently way behind schedule for me. It is around 10 a.m. Normally, I would be up here at 8, and literally, I would finish my morning work block at 10, and I'll be on my way to the gym. But last night I was staying up to watch Iman Gadzhi's Make Money Online 2.0 live stream. I probably won't do that again simply because the live stream is will be recorded and available to watch offline. Therefore, there's really no there's really no point for me to stay up till 1 or even 3 a.m. in the morning just to totally mess up my sleep routine when the only benefits of staying online is first of all ask some questions which may or may not get answered, and second of all, a chance to win some MacBook, which I literally don't give a fuck because literally, if you can't make money online, like getting a free MacBook by someone is it doesn't really make a difference. Like sure, like if you're poor, if you have some if you have a shit laptop, then maybe that's important to you. But for me, guys, I invested in this PC and it can do wonders, and really, I just want to get focused on prioritizing how I can get my shit done. So, although naturally I would wake up, with my routine distorted, with just my life kind of out of order when I do get my routine just totally messed up by some things like this, right? And naturally, I would just kind of like throw my life away, saying that my day is already kind of like halfway finished, or it's already in the afternoon, so maybe I should just watch a movie or do something else. And yesterday's live stream, he was talking about our thermostat, like how our internal body or our beliefs and whatever is like a thermostat, right? It gets too hot or it gets too low, and we can change that. And I mean, he talked about this concept honestly a lot of times, so it was nothing really new. But then again, hearing it again and again and again just refreshes your mind. But I could confidently say that that is something I have managed pretty well recently, my own internal thermostat. And really, guys, to really monitor yourself, like you monitor your actions, your behaviors, is to be a little bit more self-aware. Like yesterday, yes, I did choose to spend the last 3 hours before the live stream to play Cyberpunk, but also like I completed all the tasks I want to do on that day. Therefore, yes, you guys can argue, oh, David, you should have used all your time to freaking code and like I don't want to hear it. I simply don't want to hear it because now today we have some other things we want to get done, and that is to complete our tracking task and make sure to get the actual graphs and statistic charts working. And most importantly, we want to check if to set a custom date, it is going to retrieve the data from that day, meaning that the data retrieval can be dynamic and can be customly set, which honestly should work in like it should work easily simply because if we have already the data for the time creators and we have the database for time created timestamps, and since that's already created and stored in the backend database, really all we have to do is just match the data, which shouldn't be hard whatsoever. And I guess the only thing that can make a little bit uncomfortable is the first time you're doing it, and that's all right, guys. Never let your first fear conquer your chance to try it and get better at it. I think that's super important too, because when I got back into programming or coding, or just have prompting with AI, actually, as you may say, I was nervous as shit. Right? I literally was nervous as shit. Why was I nervous as shit? I'll tell you guys why. Because it's been so long since I've done it, and in the back of my belief, I had this thought that it's gonna be difficult, or that I'm not gonna be good at it because I was trying to learn how to code myself, and I was horrible at it. I would spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out how to write a simple function. I can't get over bugs. Like this is all the things I was telling myself, and this belief formed a lot of resistance for me to try again and again and again. And in the start, guys, it was torture, right? It was like I had to start stream to keep myself accountable. But now it's like if I'm off stream, like I'll still do the work. Like if I'm off stream, I'll still do the work simply because I actually start enjoying it. Because once you overcome that initial fear of your own self belief, like just imagine you're always afraid to ask girls out. You're always afraid to be afraid of scare of rejection, fear of rejection. And then one day, you decide to say, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stay in the present. I'm gonna not care about what exactly I feel, and I'm gonna do it. Yes, you are gonna be nervous. Yes, you're gonna be unconfident. Yes, your word is gonna tremble. But when you get that one like positive response back, it totally changes everything. In the instant, yes, you may still doubt it. You may still, she's being nice, she's this and that. But if you keep on trying, as soon as you get more positive responses back for the actions you're doing, you start to realize that, hold on, maybe this is possible. Maybe I am getting more attractive. Maybe I am becoming more charming. Whatever the self boosting ego excuse or thing you're trying to validate yourself with, it works, right? Eventually, like you'll get over the fear of rejection, and when you do encounter a girl or when you do encounter a problem, saying that, we're not gonna let you pass, or I don't really think you're hot whatsoever, you're gonna see that rejection or obstacle as a way to improve on. So every time now I encounter a problem, instead of just totally freaking out, just being all depressed and sad, because in the back of my head I'm replaying this memory saying, oh David, here's the bug again. Here's the bug that you can't fix. Here's the bug that is going to totally destroy you. Here's the bug that you just don't know how to understand. Instead of just telling myself all this negative shit, I realized that, okay, I encountered a bug. Let me run some troubleshooting that I had done before that actually work. If it doesn't work, maybe I should interact with the application to see where could the flow be causing this issue. Is it calling multiple actions and dispatching them when I only wanted to dispatch once? All these things are ways to get around your problem. But if your belief is not there, like if you don't believe you can do it, then you simply won't. You simply just say, you know what, fuck it, I'll never get a girlfriend. Fuck it, I'll never become great. Fuck it, I'll never finish this project. And so I totally agree, with yesterday's video of the live stream about, mindset is 80% of the way there. Because I could say I'm literally doing the same thing if I was doing it like a few months back. But with my mindset totally shifted, I actually managed to make some decent ass fucking progress. So, yeah. All right, we are back. Finish it. Yeah, my mom just came into my room saying that you should go out with us. Fuck no. All right, I got a vision to accomplish. And some people may say, look, David, that's selfish as fuck. Your parents are nice to you, that's selfish as fuck. But sometimes, you think about it, guys. If you want to be great, you have to be apart from those closest to you. And when you start doing that, they would want to try all their ways and methods to try pull you back down. Not because they want to see you fail, but because they don't want you to grow apart from them. Because they don't want to lose you. They got comfortable with how you were before. They got comfortable when you used to spend time with them, watching freaking family movie nights every Sunday or whatever. They were comfortable with that. Ever since you detach yourself from them, they feel like they're missing someone. But they fail to recognize that they think that you don't miss them. But the truth is, you want to do that shit. You want to do it, but you can't. You can't because and your body's not telling you. Your mind is telling you that, David, like I can't allow you to do this anymore. Like we have to get better. We have to achieve our ambitions. We have to do it. And yes, over time, you may become selfish. Just over time, you may become, a little bit reserved and whatnot. But That's why you have to make it. Because if you don't make it, and you're just going this constant loop of going nowhere in your life, then you might as well just give up and spend some time with your family, because like you're doing nothing anyways. So last time so the task works, obviously. Completion progress adds points to the task. When we untick a task, it obviously unticks the points. Now that's something I still want to figure out later on. Like, should we just like delete the task in general? And when we complete it, so because like when someone completes a task, they get points, right? But would they necessarily uncheck a task if they already completed it? Doesn't really make any sense logically, right? Like, you would think if I complete a task, it will, go to like a trash file or go to like a completed file, and it should either auto delete or something like that, or you have the chance or option to delete it manually. Or even likewise, or simpler, it should delete on its own, because the points is already earned, and we made it that we are checking that the user can't just spam toggle, right, and get infinite points, which is something that we had encountered previously, but that's obviously fixed now. So obviously a lot to change here, but pretty much the home feed works. We can make posts, we can like posts and whatnot. Obviously, we want to add the function to unlike the posts, and maybe even delete your comments. But at the moment, the comment is kind of broken, but that's fine again, guys, because the comments is definitely saved in our Firebase if we want to go look it up, which is something not too important at the moment. Definitely, we also want to add in like photo features and video features. At the moment, these are only just hard coded components that is pushing out a div with the appropriate or signifying icon, which again is something we don't want. We want to make sure that when we press photo, when we press video, it's going to open up your camera so you can actually take the video or open up your gallery. Back on the lemon water, by the way, guys. Anyways, so task is working, leaderboard is working, profile is basically getting authenticated. There's a lot of other things we want to add, but my post is working, edit profile is not, of course. Collection is not, of course. But we can obviously, edit profile here. But that is only a dead component, so not working also. A lot of things are not working at the moment, but then again, these are all pretty simple because they're static. They're static functions, or in a way that they don't require real-time updates. Yes, maybe your privacy settings does, and something else that requires your profile sync, but anything else probably does not, right? Like, for example, your Pomodoro timer, maybe some of your note and journal, maybe that can be nested in your local, whatever. Some things don't need to be changed or updated on a real-time database, like perhaps term and services, or perhaps privacy and policy. And since everything is working right now, I can't really exactly check for the streak, but as you can see, we logged in today with your mom and it's day 1 streak. So I'm not sure exactly how we are calculating the streak at the moment, because I wasn't focusing on streaks just yet, but the idea is you're gonna log in every single day and at least complete one task, or log in and complete so on and so forth, and you get a streak. So it's definitely being measured, because I logged in yesterday and today. I'm just not sure if it's like checking if players logging into the app or just completing a task. And obviously this week, which is something I will figure out later. But today we're going to work on the tracking, so we are going to make sure this is totally going to push out a UI that will display a pie chart, it will display a line graph, and it will display like a column graph of your progression of points earned and categories, so on and so forth, right? So what we're going to do right now is just prompt the AI saying that, good morning, because we're going to be respected to our freaking idiot, junior dev. So today I want us to work on our tracking tab. I believe We have the database set up. Appropriate. Fuck. Appropriate. Appropriate. So what we're gonna do is, so today I want us to work on our tracking tab. App. I believe we have the real-time database set up and the appropriate okay. Is to display the data in the of graph charts on the form on the graph and charts UI we had created to display user statistics. Is that how you spell statistics? Yeah. Statistics. Is that how you spell statistics? Statistics. Statics. No. Statistics. Statistics. There we go. Statistics. You do statistics. First, I want you to check if I'm correct. Take your time and be careful with this. When that's done, I want you to propose purpose. Propose. How the fuck do you guys still spell propose? Pose. Purpose. Purpose.
Propose.
Me with. So first, I want you to check if I'm correct. Take your time and be careful with this. When that's done, I want you to propose me with a plan. So pretty much very simple. Obviously, we started a new AI chat agent. Therefore, it is best to let it rerun through our entire app, or try its best to scan for the relevant documents we need to focus on this task section. Obviously, this is not what I found online. This is just what I think works. Maybe I could just type in, you know what, just fix up this, just fix our tracking, just make everything work on tracking, because we already have all the things set up. But then again, if you be too vague, then it is going to rewrite a lot of code that we already have, which is something we don't really want, right? We don't want it to write the same thing we have. So let's see what he proposes us. As you particularly correct, you are particularly correct, sorry, about having the infrastructure in place, but there are some important gaps that needs to be addressed. What's working well? Redux link management, UI components, real-time database, data flow, UI chart. So basically, we have the UI set up, we have the data flow, we have the way to actually change the data with the actions with state Redux management. So that's good. Real-time database obviously is using the proper data, so we can just fetch the data and update the data, no problem. What is missing? No real data connection. The tracking tab is using stock mock static data instead of real Firebase data. Again, this is easy connection here. Missing tracking data listener. No Firebase listener specifically for tracking analysis data. No data generation. No system to create and store actual tracking sessions. This is something I am not too sure about yet. Incomplete data flow. Tracking data isn't being populated from real user activities as expected. Missing time tracking. No actual time tracking functionality to generate the data. Okay, so what I'm guessing besides before reading the to-do list is that we need to first of all make this static page into a live page by first connecting this to our user data flow. So at the moment, our user data flow is when the app loads. It first obviously checks the authentication of user, then it grabs the user data, I'm pretty sure, and then all the information in the app will spring from user data, simply because user data stores the necessary unique user ID, which then goes across everything, like a task creation, your post, and we can use that to pretty much track everything. So I do believe we have the structure set out for our database for tracking. If not, then we have to create that and grab the UID, which is going to be just connecting this to our user UID, and then we can grab the data from there swiftly with no problem. Now, add data aggregation logic for different time periods. I think what that means is pretty much we have to add, some functionalities that will check for custom time periods. So, that should be easy written. So I'm pretty, curious to see what the AI spits out, because I think I'm pretty confident knowing exactly how that code will be written, though I can't say really confident, because if you give me the tools right now, I probably will take a long time, which is again very unnecessary. So yeah, let's get started and see. So it wants to add Firebase listeners for tracking data in centralized listener. That's right. Create service to generate and store tracking analytic data. Create services to generate and store tracking analytical data. I think so. Implement actual time tracking functionalities. Connect tracking tab to real Firebase data instead of mock data. Add data aggregation logic for different time periods. Test complete tracking data flow from creation to display. All right. Okay. Great plan. I want you to start with make sure you infrastructure. Now make sure you check the structure we have created for our other tabs like home, tab, etc. Simply copy the same structure as I think the English there was pretty poor. What I was trying to explain is that since we already have the connection completed for our home task, pretty much everything else but tracking, I'm telling you to not rewrite, or try to think of like a whole new logic when it can just grab the point of reference from what we already have created and just use that, but obviously change, certain maybe function or action calls and the name of the selectors you're gonna name it. So it really should work like just like that because I mean like you're copying, right, and just renaming names. Yeah, like post user data task. Yeah. Again, leaderboards. Yeah, similar data flow, which really should be similar data flow. It shouldn't be different. Perfect. Now I understand the successful pattern. Let me implement phase one by following the same structure. I'll start by acting tracking data listeners to the centralized listener service and then create the tracking data services. Step two, add tracking data methods to real-time services. Okay, real-time has a lot of fucking lines of code, which I'm not sure if this is really necessary. Like, this is like a lot. Generate task completion. So this is checking for the weekly progress. This is checking for the UID and sort by date. Wouldn't that be just done in the weekly thing though? Static async. Time, create time tracking session. Just thinking if we need that time tracking session. I'll just take it off for now because, yeah. Tracking session, tracking analytics, weekly progress, category dates. Tracking date, weekly progress. We have some, contradicting data here. Yeah. Okay, so it seems like we are no longer using the initial states because we have migrated from normal database to real time database. So all this is not in use anymore, or is it? I know it might seem like a lot of lines of code, but you have to take into account that this is JXX and you're styling. If we remove the styling to its own separate page, then the code will be like cutting in half. So, it's reasonable size code for me. As long as the components is all separated and not just all bunched into one file, then I'm fine with that because then at least I have some sort of separation. Like nothing's gonna be perfect at the start, which is why like I might not even be bothered reading through the implementation is changing or making, even though it may be duplications. That is easily found when we actually interact with the app. It will be much harder for you to, or maybe if you experience, yes, you could watch out and go over the changes it makes and you know ask it to redo it or rewrite it before you confirm with it. But I found that I just play along with the app, and if I find a bug, I'll go back and ask to fix it. If I find redundant or repetitive, API calls and fetches, I'll screenshot it and let them know to fix that. And that at least makes me move the needle forward instead of just like constantly what's the word? Constantly micromanaging it, like not letting it do its thing. And we don't like people who micromanages, especially like, you know, yeah. Firebase. All right, so we obviously have a bug, right? Which makes sense. Session management. I need to know what that means. I'm gonna note it down. And I'm gonna note it down. I'll ask what it means later. Right now we have to fix this bug. So right. I realized that before we rolled out tracking. It. Go ahead. So at the moment, I'm just pretty much telling it to just go over our tracking code, our database, and make sure that the old inputs, old tracking states are no longer there since we have added in these new tracking states, these new data to follow based on. By the way, guys, I'm not sure if I said, but the cut is over. I first had my bulking calories yesterday, and boy, did I wake up feeling like an absolute fat shit. You know, I looked, because I was on carnivore, I was eating carbohydrates, and just eating carbohydrates yesterday night was just so sad. Like, literally so sad. Like, I don't even know why I'm eating carbohydrates, right? It's just, ever since you eat meat, like a lot of meat, you realize how good freaking meat tastes. Like beef mince and this pork crackling, like, boy, that tastes so much better than just eating plain potatoes. And then I'll be there eating potatoes, and all I could feel was my stomach becoming bloated. And that's it. And noticing that potatoes does not have just does not even have a fraction of the nutrient value as meat has. You just realize, why am I even putting this in my body? But then you realize that, you wake up, or in the moment, like, your muscle looks fuller, it looks, more filled up, and you realize that, what, maybe we still need carbs. It's just that, in that moment of transition, it's just so depressing. Like, you just realize that, man, instead of eating like 1,000 calories of potato and oats, I could legit eat, maybe like a kilo of lamb or something like that. And, eating lamb probably be like more delicious than eating just potatoes. But yeah, not a big deal. I didn't train yesterday because it was my day off, Sundays. So I didn't get the benefit of, seeing what carb is like after a while. But this week actually, I'm doing my deload, so I won't again push hard. But I could say that it will be good, because, like, even now, like, I feel like I am pretty damn energized. Even though I slept late last night and I totally waked up like pretty late, which means I did have my sleep like all right. Like, I did sleep for 7-8 hours, but Normally, I would just kind of feel a little bit down or whatever because my day is kind of ruined or something like that. Okay. Mm. There we go. Shouldn't. No, 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 no. It's weekly progress, dummy. Is that not it? Now let's refresh. Once again, it probably deleted all the data that we were going to use, like we were about to use. Should be fine now. Tracking. Didn't break. There we go, boys. Our charts is working. Our pie chart is working. And our line graph is not yet shown. So this is the hours, like how much hours you are doing. I don't think we'll do this as screen time because, theoretically you wouldn't have your screen open. When you want to stay focused, you want to have your screen tucked away. Maybe you have like a Pomodoro timer, but then again, if we're using the timer, to measure your activity during the app, then obviously we can just use that data, right? But I guess it's also good, just for analytics sake, to have stored our user, um, session time spent per day. And I think we do have that. So, yes, the issue. Proceed. Mm, we will try to figure out the point logic later on, because at the moment, like each task completion, you're getting like upwards of 70 points, right? And it doesn't really make sense to have, to only reward the user 10 points per hour. Obviously, it's a bonus. But then again, like if you have a task, for example, is super important, like very difficult, like you mark it on top priority, but all you have to do is like feed your cat, and it takes like 2 minutes, and you earn like what 70 points. It kind of it kind of makes no sense, right? But then again, like it takes the user own discipline to really measure their points effectively. But then again, like I feel like if we have a structured like way to make the points fair, then that will only make the user experience fair in our leaderboards. Because for example, right, Duolingo, like a language app, everyone, like each lesson you complete, you get a certain amount of XP, right? Yes, maybe the XP may vary based on your, how well you have completed the task, based on accuracy, and maybe like some other factors. But overall, like the user's point XP reward is pretty systemized, right? Like you're not gonna get someone who's rewarded like 10x the amount of points by doing one or doing the similar task as the other user. Obviously, by being a self productivity app where there is different tasks to create based on individual standards, yes, you can never measure your routine as someone else. Like you can never compare what you're doing to someone else's task. Therefore, the points will always be individualized. But I still think it's fair enough to the degree that we or I make sure that the point calculation system is not too messed up. But then again, I still can't. Maybe I can, but there's still like I don't have full control to not let the user just like there's I don't think there's anything stopping me there's stopping the user, sorry, from just creating like very difficult tasks and just spamming completion and just earning like XP on XP on XP on XP and being placed on leaderboards. So I think what something else I might have to implement is the points itself is going to be used to purchase, in-app cosmetics and some other things. What I had for plans originally was even much more bigger than this. So, stay tuned for that. But if our points is going to be rewarded by, doing these certain like task completion, then I think another fair way to measure the user's leaderboard status to make it, just a little bit more fair and not easy to cheat is to first of all, streak is nice because that's consistent across all users. I feel like your hours done, like your hours work this week, is also very consistent because you can't really cheat that unless you just leave your phone on. But I think I would do something that will allow the user to always like check back. And then the person who does cheat is kind of just insane, right? Like, because he would open an app and just click on their phone every 30 minutes and say like I have done something, even if they have not. Like back in the Pokemon Go days, yes, you may like strap your phone to a fan and let the fan turn to do your steps, but then again, like you're just being lazy. So the people who do that are very, very negligible. So that's not something you really have to worry about. But I think instead of points to measure the leaderboard status, I'll do XP instead, right? So XP will be kind of universal across all task creations and whatnot. Like you don't get more XP by completing harder tasks, but rather you get XP based on maybe completing tasks, completing challenges, doing special events, doing special routines that the app will eventually prompt you with. I think that is something that we can measure user leaderboards on. So this is a bunch of crazy ideas. As a matter of fact, I should really write that idea down, just so that I don't actually forget, because that was a pretty good idea actually. Uh, Huh. Did I put it in Expo app? No, I did not. To-do list? I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay, so. But this is a lot, I know. This is literally a lot of things to do. In-app, yeah, pretty nice. Okay, we're back to this. What did it even do actually? I forgot. That's a lot of changes. Hold on. but filtering dates by week, month, year. Hmm. Let's see. That's pretty sick, guys. But we can see a lot of errors, definitely. Um, what is this error? What is this error? That's right. Not stopping at certain decimal points. Um, so. Okay. And obviously the yearly progression is not working. This is working though. Oh wait, is that in years? I'm confused. Okay, so the yearly, weekly, monthly, test data. I feel like this bar graph is kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like the bar graph could be better. Obviously, it is not checking the data based on weeks, month, and year, which is a problem, obviously. But then again, how could it check? It can't. It's a bar graph. Unless you're doing month at a time. Like, I gotta see how other apps do it. But then again, this is again just this circle is just a hard coded circle. Okay, so I now have a clear. Normally, when you do hours, guys, is it just like one decimal place or is it two decimal places? Like, is that how like they write things? 6 minutes. What? That's 6 minutes, really? So what's 0.01? I'll just check Steam, Steam, I'm pretty sure like I think it's 1 decimal place. Can't be too sure though. Library. 3 hours. How about Borderlands? Doesn't say, really? Three hours, 66 minutes. Crap. Shit game. I don't know, guys. Let me ask ChatGPT. Right. So that means it's 1 minute. Is that right? Let's see if he's right. That's 6.6 minutes. How does that make any sense? So what's 9 then? Oh, okay. So is because 1 hour is 60 minutes. So it's going up by increments of 6. I think we'll do. Yeah, I think we'll do 1 point. Wait. Okay. There. Deci. That's better. There we go. It's getting changed slowly. See, that's much better UI. Like right away. But I don't like this, you know. I don't even think like this chart isn't responsive. I don't know. I'll check though. What is that? I can't even read that. That makes no sense whatsoever. I think that's one thing productivity apps miss. It's a comprehensive tracking system, right? Just imagine having a comprehensive tracking system to know what you do every single day and what you don't. Like with certain to do apps I use, like, yes, there's a way to, pick the tasks that you do repetitively, right? Pick the tasks that you have archived, but there's never a way, or for the few apps I did look up, there was really never like a statistic or like a stat it will give back to you, right? Because I don't know why. And there's also never a home feed. So some people may say, oh, this idea is using so many different like it's not being hyper specific on one little thing. But who gives a fuck? Because I think it'll be nice to know exactly what you're spending your time towards, right? And having this, because people like to measure. Like, I think for me, when I was trying to track my tasks and habits by using an Excel sheet, like yes, it worked, but like is how can I say, like, if you can make it, like, yes, Excel sheets where you can track your habits, whatnot, it just can be a bit mundane. And sometimes to make it something a little bit more fun, it's just more interesting, right? But obviously, this at this moment in the first iteration, even I would not use it. I'm gonna be plain frank with you guys. This I would not use it. It looks fucking shit, which is why I'll make it better, right? I'll make it better. Like at the moment, guys, this is just version 1. Like all I am doing is making sure the main functionality works, and then the UI and whatnot can be changed later on. But this needs to just work, right? So we'll get it to work first. Um, do you think that that's too far away from each other? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we do so that's not even responsive. Okay. That calculation is wrong too. 8. 19 plus 71. What's that? 8. That's 90. How does that make any sense? Doesn't make sense. And I still don't understand what data this is trying to show us. I'm gonna do like a snip. Snip. Wait. Did I save it or did I just copy it? I just copied it. I need to save it actually. Save as. Graph. What does this even mean? 7 tasks. However, however, our let's add that word to our troubleshoot. There we go. Looks better. But it's definitely duplicates, that's for sure. Hmm. What is toggle? Oh, that tastes delicious. That's disgusting. Guys, if I want to go to the gym, shit. If I want to go to the gym, then I better get this shit done. You know, and I think that's important. Because sometimes you kind of like slow down because you feel like you have all the time in the world, but literally don't. Literally don't. I think that's a more effective prompt. Toilet break. Taking a while, eh? Taking a while. I don't know what these enhanced actions are for, and I think it's just pointless code. This shit's really bugging out. Okay, let me. Okay, okay. I'm gonna figure this shit out. Like, we'll think of some other way to prompt the AI to actually get this tracking sorted out, because at the moment, it's not really working like how I want it to. Okay. So it's here. All right. Don't worry, guys. We'll figure something out. For now, I'm gonna go to the gym. We'll figure this shit out.